Senior Registrar in the radiology department of Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria. I have about a decade of experience in radiology. I love radiology, and I also enjoy learning new skills, continuously seeking avenues to share knowledge. That's why I took up this medium to share with you what I have learned, I and my team have learned from the Spark Academy. I celebrate all the leaders connected to Spark Academy, including Camera Africa. I cannot start my presentation without appreciating my family, teacher, trainers, and my wonderful colleagues. I appreciate everyone here. Thank you so much. And I promise you that you won't have regret joining this meeting because I've put my effort and heart to give you value for your time. Now, the topic is AI applications in brain tumor imaging in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, the Spark Academy is in collaboration with MedMac-Hacks and endorsed by the Medical Image Computing and Computer-Assisted Interventions, that's MECI Society. It is designed to train a new generation of artificial intelligence experts in medical imaging who can train others through series of lectures and hands-on training. I was opportune to join this academy earlier this year, and it has spanned from April to ending of July. It's being headed by Professor Uduna. As you can see, she's on the left-hand corner of the screen. So these are my outlines. We're talking about the of AI, brain tumor burden in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, AI applications in brain imaging, the Spark Academy trainees, and then I'll be taking the conclusion and the references. So by way of introduction, AI refers to a machine's ability to learn and act intelligently, meaning they can make decisions and carry out tasks even without the interventions of human. And they can also predict future outcomes based on what they have learned from the data. AI also represents the capacity of machines to mimic the cognitive functions of human context. And scientists generally need a large database in order to prove this technique of AI and for it to be able to analyze data appropriately. AI is a broad concept, because I'm sure we have seen different aspects of it, like robotics, even the Siri on our iOS is part of AI, the Google Assistant. But going down to medical imaging, we'll talk about it in a more narrowed part. So for artificial intelligence, it's developed smart systems and machines that can carry out tasks that typically require human intelligence. Now, a subset of artificial intelligence is machine learning. This creates algorithms that can learn from data and make decisions based on the pattern observed. If we look at this term too, you see that there's a human factor to it. There's human intervention in machine learning, whereas the deep learning has no intervention of human factor, and it uses artificial neural networks to reach accurate conclusions without human interventions. It means that the computer has multiple layers of algorithms interconnected and stratified into hierarchies of importance, more or less like meaningful data. So AI and the radiology world, it is one of the fastest growing areas of computing with great relevance to the field of radiology. It is pertinent to understand the applications of AI in imaging and how it can contribute to us, the radiologists, radiographers, radiology technicians, and the likes. The knowledge and training about the pitfalls and weaknesses of AI model is also required at every level. That is to say that it's pertinent for us to have models that can be included in future training curricula, particularly, let me narrow it down to Nigeria. But generally in sub-Saharan Africa, it has been seen that there's a need for training and then understanding of this model so that we can apply it to our immediate data system. Now, these three persons on this screen have published a paper, and it's titled AI for Population and Global Health in Radiology. The potential of AI to improve population health outcomes is higher in low and middle income countries due to their greater disease burdens. However, the infrastructure to support this is not readily available. And then AI will need to provide we will need to provide an enabling environment for the generalizability of AI solutions in the sub-Saharan Africa. The implementation of AI has already kickstarted in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria. The May Lab particularly have created an Africa Neuroimaging Archive. It's a publicly available imaging repository of annotated brain MRI studies. And it's trying to curb this need, the deficiency of AI having access to large amounts of data. A study was carried out between 1960 to 2017. That's a total of 26 articles were brought together with the need to develop a central brain tumor registry in Africa. And over these years, that's over a decade, like 6 decades, it was just discovered that the number of cases that were seen were just like 5,902. Whereas Nigeria, Egypt, and Uganda had the highest number of cases. And if you look at it, it's grossly underrepresented because the total reported cases, when we look at it, is not commensurate with what we actually have, even in the recent times. And then when compared with other continents, we see that there's already a lack of brain tumor registry in Nigeria, sub-Saharan Africa. In the sub-Saharan Africa, management of brain tumors is based on clinical and radiological information with presumed grade detecting treatments. And radiological information. The MRI is the mainstay of the assessment of patients with brain tumor. However, this form of imaging is not readily available as it poses as a threat to data collection. It's also important for us to know that the non-invasive assessment of brain tumor grade is of paramount importance to choose the best treatment plan, because generally the radiological information gives the surgery department, it gives the surgery arm, the radiotherapy units, it gives them information on what kind of modalities they should institute for the treatment of patients with brain tumor. There are different categories. I just brought this up. We can classify them as diffuse infiltrating gliomas. Astrocytoma is one of them. Gliodendroglioma, then ganglioblastoma. The circumscribed low-grade tumors include the pilocystic astrocytoma, DNET, ganglioglioma, PXA, and then these common non-glial tumors, such as the lymphoma, metastasis, and meningiomas, are common mimics of glioblastoma. I want us to know that glioblastoma is a major challenge for treatments, and it's important for us to know that it has brought the attention of people to it, and it's being used as a case study for testing all these AI algorithms in brain tumors. So, as I said, glioblastoma has 50% occurrence of CNS tumors, and it's the most common adult brain tumor in general. It's aggressive and it's relatively resistant to therapy. There are different treatment options, and the survival rate generally is just less than 2 years even after treatment. That's to show the gravity of glioblastoma. Through the rapid development of machine learning and deep learning technologies, features are extracted from MRI imaging, and they can be used to construct models to predict the genetic mutation of brain tumor non-invasively. It has also been proven that AI applications can have a considerable degree of diagnostic accuracy. In the case of glioblastoma, AI has proven to be prognostic and able to predict patient survival post-treatment. AI applications in brain imaging generally dwells more on the deep learning, and it replicates the function of the human brain. It performs several actions such as image data detection, and the neural networks help the machine to recognize relationships between large amounts of data. Yes, this form of neural network can be used for glioblastoma is a convolution neural network, and it's used to analyze images. It extracts the major features seen in glioblastoma. Subsequently, we see the imaging of glioblastoma and how it looks. Now, the role of AI in brain tumor imaging. Before now, manual segmentation of lesions was required for neuroradiology experts, and it required large amounts of data, so it was quite laborious and time-consuming. But with the introduction of deep learning, this challenge has been circumvented. And this plot depicts the model that performs the segmentation. This is the data, manual segmentation that's been done by radiology experts. Now, it's introduced into the model. This is without human factor. And this AI model eventually helps in the grading of this tumor. That's to show that it helps in even predicting the kind of spread of the lesion, and it will narrow the physician's mind to be able to know the appropriate treatment to institute for this patient. For instance, in the differentials that I mentioned, common differential or common mimics, the glioblastoma can look like lymphoma. And we all know that the treatment option for glioblastoma in the sub-Saharan Africa is basically surgical. But for lymphoma, even with steroids, the patient can have gross perfect or near perfect resolution of the tumor. But if this imaging we use does not help to nail the appropriate diagnosis, we may make errors, we may make mistakes. Another thing is metastasis that could look like it, like glioblastoma. So AI will help in the assessment of the exact tumor type and subsequently the treatment options that should be instituted. In the AI Spark Academy, we were able to have this training for brain tumor segmentation. Now, this is a ITK Snap toolbox. It's an open source software for medical image segmentation, and we're trained on how to do manual segmentation for data sets that are selected from this sub-Saharan Africa. If we look at the images closely, the images have poor quality as compared to what we have in in the developed world. And another drawback to segmentation in sub-Saharan Africa is when we talk about the sequences. Sometimes in some centers, the appropriate sequences are not acquired. Like for glioblastoma, it's important that we have a T1, T2 flare, and T1 post-contrast. That will be able to do a proper brain tumor annotation. So for this ITK SNAP toolbox, we use the brain tumor annotation protocol. And after doing the segmentation with all these labelings for the areas of necrosis, for the areas of edema, is a flare sequence, it was eventually reviewed by annotators and senior radiologists. Those are experts in brain tumor segmentation. The outcome of it is this. This is a brain tumor sub-region segmentation. The image panel denotes tumor subregions annotated in different multiparametric MRI, and they are representative of glioblastoma. These are the areas of necrotic. The necrotic core has been segmented as the color red. The area of enhancing tumor is blue, and the area of edema is green. These are all labels that have been imputed to help in tumor segmentation. This is a RGB map just to commensurate the image on the D. So the potential for AI to improve health outcomes is higher in the sub-Saharan Africa. This paper was published by Professor Uduna, Mr. Maruf, and Dr. Farouk. Yes. However, the barriers are notably immense because though the potential for AI to improve population health outcome is higher, but because of the greater disease burden, because of the great limitation of infrastructure and personnel, this could pose a challenge for AI introduction into the sub-Saharan Africa properly. So it is possible for us to improve on this by having a more robust PAC system, and it will help in the training of the AI models in helping to implement AI in radiology in the sub-Saharan Africa. This is a conceptual framework by Camera. Camera is a consortium of advancements of MRI education and research in Africa, and it's based on the needs assessment survey. Basically, it applies advocacy, training, networking, opportunities, and innovation. And then there will be need for accessibility. I think we can take a clue from this conceptual framework. Though AI can operate on its own, but there's need for MRI, especially when we talk about brain tumor segmentation and annotation. There's need for MRI. So the availability and sustainability of MRI is something that should be looked upon in sub-Saharan Africa. It can improve the AI incorporation into the radiology in this region. This is the first meeting that we had in ARIN conference that was held in 2022. Yes, it was a short meeting in Marriott Hotel, and the Professor Uduna is here, Dr. Anoshike and Dr. Kuti. They put up this meeting for us, and they wanted us to have a mentorship kind of touch. And I must say that it has been so impactful, because if not for this opportunity, maybe I wouldn't have been here presenting to the whole community right now. This image, or let's say this picture, comprises of Lagos team members. It was during the hackathon that was conducted in Crestview Radiology, Nigeria, May Lab. The May Lab is located there. That's the medical imaging lab. And we're able to do brain tumor segmentation. We're able to sort for validity and the assessment to know which images we should impute for the brain tumor annotation and for the AI algorithm to work on. That's in terms of the deep learning. After this, we had a nice time. We had pictures. One of our celebrants, one of the participants was celebrating her birthday. It was a nice experience because we got to interact, and we do not regret the opportunity that has been given to us by Spark Academy. Dr. Wikima, a neuroradiologist who is a beneficiary of the RSNA, is a specialist, and she has been of immense contribution to us, the doctors that are in this academy. This is the team, Mr. Maruf, and the other team members. I will mention their names: Kenneth, Babatunde, Ada, Obadino. This is me, there, Nancy, Afolabi, and our powerful medical doctor. He's a medical student, but he's a very, very good programmer. Spark Academy Hackathon. At the end of it, we had this snapshot. It was quite interesting because it was on a Zoom meeting from different parts of the world. We have Mr. Ray, Professor Oduna, Joanne, that's how I pronounce her name, was also there to teach us, and a lot of people out there, a lot of teams. We had a total of 10 teams across the sub-Saharan Africa, 10 teams with their various names. My team, Simba Warriors, is located in Nigeria, Lagos team also, and we had a nice time. I think we have to acknowledge all these people: Dr. Dongzang, Maruf, Raymond Confidence, and the list goes on. And I will not fail to mention that Spark Academy has been of immense help in our training, and we hope that there'll be more of it to make the sub-Saharan Africa have a full impact of AI. So in conclusion, I would say that AI can help with many different aspects of brain tumor management in diagnosis, response assessment, and evaluation of novel therapies. This tumor search in sub-Saharan Africa drives innovation for AI in medical imaging. I would say that AI is the next evolution. We can influence the field with curated data and data release and training, as well as researches in the sub-Saharan Africa. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. For more information, you can contact this email. Thank you. Please, if there are questions, you can drop them in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ray. Thank you, Dr. Adaobi. I appreciate. Thank you, Dr. Abidoye, my consultant. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Moses. Thank you, Dr. Moses.